All right, a little lesson on tomatoes. This is kind of interesting. So sometimes you go to the store and you get a tomato and it's really, really tall and lanky. You're like, I don't know if I want that tomato, but if you look really close, there are these fuzzy hairs on the side of the stem. And if you bury the stem, and you can bury it as deep as you want to, as long as you leave some leaves at the top, those will grow into roots. And so I learned last year that once tomatoes the leaves start touching each other, they compete for light. And so instead of being short, they grow really, really extremely tall. So let me back up a little bit. Last year, our tomatoes were as tall as where the hanging basket started. And that was kind of a problem because once they were in the same size pot and you took them out and they're this really long, wobbly thing. So I decided to start some plants a little bit earlier, and we would be transplanting them into a deep pot like this. Trying to figure that out. Give them a little bit more space so that they're a shorter, stockier plant. And so that's what I'm going to be doing over the next couple of days in the greenhouse. Another way that you can plant them if they're really, really tall, and I learned this from a customer at the greenhouse, you can, I wish I had two hands, somebody filming for me. You can dig a trench and plant them sideways, and then you just bend the tip up. Let's see. How am I going to do this? You bend the tip up so that that's out of the ground and the rest of it is underground. And then that's a way you can deal with a long leggy plant. So these, I wish I had, remember how I said to put the dates, and that was really important? I wrote it in my notebook, but I don't think I wrote it on the back of my tags. I know I wrote it on one, but these were planted a while back. They're going to be put into a bigger pot. I have some at home right now that are close to being ready to transplant. And so those will be small. Those will be, I think, about this size, maybe a little bit bigger at the plant sale. So that is, we have 2 stages of tomato plants. And there's different types of tomatoes. There's like cherry tomatoes, obviously. There's slicing tomatoes, which the Brandywine is considered a slicing tomato. It looks like the perfect tomato you put on your hamburger. There are sauce tomatoes, like the ones that you see in the store. Those are Roma tomatoes. Those are really good for making like spaghetti sauce or pasta sauce because they're a lot more, they have a lot more meat to them on the inside and not so like squishy and full of seeds. And they're like beefsteak tomatoes, which are like really big, gigantic tomatoes. And we'll learn terms like hybrid, which means they are a cross tomato, which means if you take the seed and plant it, you don't know what you're going to get. And then there are other types of tomatoes called heirloom tomatoes. That's a type of tomato that's been around for such a long time that it's been passed down for at least 50 to 100 years. And so it's a type of tomato that's really decent to grow, and you'll always get the seed that you plant, and you can save seeds and that sort of thing. So for those of you, I love tomatoes. Oh, another thing. Yellow tomatoes and orange tomatoes are low in acid, and so it doesn't give you heartburn or upset your stomach or give you gas as much if you eat tomatoes that are a yellow color. And so we'll be having like a good amount of yellow tomatoes. This Dad Sunset in the back is a really large yellow tomato. Mr. Stripey is a yellowish tomato with kind of orange on the inside. We'll have some cherry tomatoes and some larger tomatoes that will be yellow or orange. My favorite cherry right now, by far, is Sun Gold. which is sad because the seeds are really expensive and they're a hybrid, so you can't save the seeds and plant them.